Hello everybody, and my name is Susan Hayes Culleton, and I'm delighted to be here with you today to tell you a little bit about BeckSearch and our journey through an innovation partnership with DCU. So first and foremost, to tell you a little bit about our story, this is what happened. In 2016, I came up with an idea whilst on a trade mission in Dubai. And our company started in 2010. Both myself and my husband were the co-founders, and it started off being a financial training business. Then we moved into running a summer camp for teenagers, focusing on careers, communication and confidence. That evolved into transitional work experiences, and we still have all of that part of the business today. But in 2016, while on a trade mission in Dubai, I came up with an idea, and that is peer learning. Peer learning is how people learn from each other. It's how we're learning from each other today. And yet, so much of it is reliant on serendipity. So much of peer learning is reliant on me walking to a conference, when you could do that, and meeting somebody who was at the same coffee stand as me, or maybe bumping into somebody who was an extrovert who was happy to be at a networking part of the session, or maybe sitting beside somebody at a conference, or in a learning and development scenario in a company. We often bemoan the fact that people leave, and they leave at a certain time frame. And therefore we're saying, oh God, all this tacit knowledge that's walking out the door with them. Whereas instead, if there was an actual way of bringing people together in a way that actually had some science behind it, imagine what that could do. Imagine if we could match people together based on what they know with people who want to know that information, and we cultivate a process around that. And ultimately, that was the idea. So we applied for the Innovation Partnership Feasibility Study. And we were successful after 2 rejections. And for sure, I'm going to leave my contact details with you at the end of this. I can take this offline with any of you, and I can tell you how we made that happen and what we got rejected on and so on. But the key thing is that we got it. And that happened in 2017. After that, we applied for the full innovation partnership. And that was on the basis of 100% of the resources meant, here was how it broke down. 60% of cash came from Enterprise Ireland, 20% of cash came from us, and 20% of the resources were our in-kind labour. So again, that was in comparison, the feasibility is a much simpler process, but the full innovation partnership is up to 200,000. At the time we were successful, it was 125,000. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of money, a lot of resources, so therefore there's an extensive application form, which is a brilliant experience because you have to get it done and done really well. And you need to think about things, you need to think about tasks and the team and how things are going to happen and the interim deliverables. It's really a brilliant form to put you through your paces. Then there's the commercialisation assessment, which is where a member of the Enterprise Ireland team reviews your proposal from the point of view of what happens later on. So if you enable this technology and if it's built and you bring it to the marketplace, then what? What do you think you can do? And again, that assessment is very, very good because they ask you questions that you may have thought about, that you may have the answers to, which are great. But if you don't, it gives you the focus point to think, okay, is this export focused? Can we deliver upon this? What are our expectations? What are our commercial goals? What revenues do we expect? When do we expect to be profitable? And so on. You also have the technical evaluation, but DCU took care of that. So then, from there, then we went on and we built the software that we had intended to build, the algorithm and so on. And then we brought it to the market, and the market said, no. It was either disinterested or we got no response back. And that was hard. That was hard. Oh, still even thinking of that today, that was hard going. However, we pivoted in 2019 and we changed it to where we were actually going to use this algorithm, not in an open scenario or not when we went directly into companies, but actually in micro events like training events, networking events, and so on. And we did. And from there, it's worked out to be, it has impacted directly or indirectly, it has impacted 40% of our revenue in the last year. Now, I have to tell you, though, is that an ability to enable peer learning, which is highly active and engaging in its own right, in an online capacity, which we can, was the best possible preparation that we could have put in advance of the pandemic. Now, obviously, we didn't know this was happening when we applied for it in the first place. We saw a gap in the market. We brought the innovation to the market by working on the technology that DCU developed for us. we had to pivot based on the market wants, needs and reactions, and then we moved forward again. So halfway through the innovation partnership, that was when we pivoted, and from then on it's just been a different story. The ability that we have affects every single day of our business and on a growing percentage of our revenue as well. Now, where are we now though? Well, last Christmas, so just December 2019, then we applied for our second innovation partnership feasibility study. So this was where we applied for new research assistant because we have so many more ambitions for BECsearch. We believe that we can certainly look at how artificial intelligence can help. We're looking at a range of problems, or it's not problems per se, but our existing process is quite manual. So if we were to really increase the scalability of the technology that we have, we thought we really wanted to go and delve a little bit deeper into this and to see where we could go. So right now at this stage, we applied for the feasibility in Christmas. We got it in March. Our new research assistant was appointed in August. Bear in mind the delay was because of all this COVID carry on, and Alice has been with us now since August, and I'm telling you, as of this week, I'm recording it now, as of this week, which is the same week as the event, we have made our application for our second innovation partnership, with a view to moving on then to producing version 3.0. So that is our story, and just to give you some basic features of, or not that they're not basic, but just to give you an outline of what BECsearch is all about. So we've got a matching algorithm, and that was a key, that technology we couldn't have built ourselves previously because we didn't have the expertise. We didn't have the resources. It wasn't investor ready. It was too risky to borrow from. So this partnership actually enabled everything to happen in such a way where we got the right influences at the right time. We had cash, not as much as Enterprise Ireland had put in, but we had cash to put in. We had a hunger and ambition to make this happen. We had the idea. But what we definitely also had was we had the commercialization ambition. We had the business relationships. We had, we're 10 years old. We had experience of building a business already. What DCU had was people, access to people who were just after coming out of college. Of all four of the people that have worked with us between the first feasibility study, the two people who worked with us through the partnership, and now Alice in the recent feasibility, they have access to people which we wouldn't know about because, of course, they're still in university by the time we're applying for all this. They also have huge technology. Of course, they have massive cutting-edge research and insights and production and so many other things that sometimes I sit in meetings and I'm just wowed by what they've got in terms of the next frontier. But of course, their focus as a university is research and producing papers and coming up with good ideas and so on. But when you connect that with a company that has the hunger to go out and make this a business, then and when everything is aligned the right way, it can make for a really winning partnership. And then, of course, you have the government. So the government, of course, wants Ireland to be innovative. Of course it wants it to be innovative. But as a company, you can't take on the financial weight of that burden all on your own. Similarly, a university doesn't want to commercialise. It wants to develop technology and it wants to produce research paper. So it wants to inspire graduates. Of course it wants to do all of that, but it doesn't want to commercialise. So the government ultimately creates this programme, which is the glue that brings us all together. When I say the government, of course, I'm referring to Enterprise Ireland. So through all of these things, the 5 key things that are on your screen right now, that is what the technology enabled us to build. And then we wrapped a business around that and off we went. So since then, we have a range of customers at home and abroad. So we have worked with PwC, Davy and A&L Goodbody. They're all, of course, in Ireland. And also the local enterprise office has also used our technology for varying different elements of what they do as well. And then we brought it to Ulster University, Bank of Valletta in Malta and beyond. And as you can see there, a couple of nice testimonials. So the next one is going to be a totally different scenario. We're totally leaving up the tech. And I'm reiterating that the point is that the ability of a university to bring so much value to a business that takes the weight of the financial burden out of it, while you still have to have skin in the game. I have to say, I cannot really and truly speak highly enough of this initiative. It does take a lot of work. It takes a lot of aligning different values. It takes a lot of, as a business, it's so important to drive it forward and listen to the market. So I'm a big believer of it, and I'm super happy to talk to any of you who might be interested in delving into this further. So connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm more than happy to talk to you. My name is Susan.